we've had one of those mornings with technology, and as you can see, I'm coming to you live from my lounge. I've got a sore throat, so not able to actually go to church physically today. So it's going to be a little bit different. They are opening their service, hopefully pretty much now, and then once they have done all of those things that they need to do, then they will join the live with us. So really, this is just a bit of a preamble until the church join us. But I'm going to pray anyway. So let's just pray. He honore, he kororia ki te atua. He maungarongo ki te whenua. He whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Hanga e te atua, he ngā kauhau. Ki roto ki tēnā o mātou. Whakatongia tō wairua tapu. Hei a whina, hei tohu tohu i a mātou. Hei ako hoki ngā mahi, mō tēnei rā, āmeni. Honour and glory to God, peace on earth, goodwill to all people. Lord, develop a new heart inside all of us. Instill in us your sacred spirit. Help us, guide us in all the things we need to learn today. Amen. So I can see there's a few people watching. Maybe you want to comment in the comments in the chat section so that I can see who you are, because I just see myself otherwise. I'm going to do a few videos today. So while we are waiting for this and the church that's happening down in the building, while we're waiting for that, hi Logan, nice to see you. While we're happening, I'm going to put some links into the chat, and then you'll be able to click on those, because we can't show them live on the live. Sorry, this is Josiah, and we're going to have a bit of this today where we will be okay, so he's just saying they're just taking prayer requests now, which is great. He is going to have to be messaging me, so I'm going to have to be checking my phone, and so I'm just making sure that I try and get these videos in the right order. So I'll tell you when to click on those. And what's this one? Yeah. So anyway, Waitangi Day. What a beautiful, soft, gentle fall of rain we are having today. That's just going to clean our nature. So what else am I doing? Hey, Stephen Loki, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. Then there will be another video that I'm probably, hang on, how the heck have I done this? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Te Tiriti o Waitangi, that one. Now I'm a bit lost myself. YouTube. Okay, so the first one's not there. Yes, it is. This is going to be an interesting day, guys. And if you manage to last there, just pray now. You'll need to paste the links when you want them watched, because people can't see chat history when they join. Okay. So although I've posted them now, but I can just undo that. So even though I've posted them, you won't be able to click on them because apparently you can't see the history. So anyway, I hope you've all had a good week. Like I said before, the reason that I'm on live is because I've got a sore throat, and so I have to have a test and stay home. Yeah, but that's okay, yeah, we can do this, and we will do this, and there's going to be lots of things that we have to do over the coming weeks that are going to be different and are going to be weird, but that's all good. Oh, okay, so Josiah's saying we're here. Hello everybody down at church. I can't believe that I'm sitting here talking to a screen again and you're all down there joining together. Anyway, we are here and you've prayed and I've prayed here. And yeah, I was just saying what a wonderful thing, that soft, gentle rain that's happening today. Oh my gosh. And I've got lots of dogs here today. It's okay. It's okay, Toa. It's okay. They heard a car beep. Hopefully they'll just settle down and they won't be too much of a distraction. But I've got David and Mel's dog here today as well, because they're away. So anyway, what I was just saying was that there is a beautiful, soft rain that's falling, and I just feel like that's a real gift from God today. It's a gift from God because certainly we need the rain, but also just that softness and that gentleness. And on a day like today, on Waitangi Day, as we celebrate and remember our history, it's really nice just to have that soft, gentle falling of rain. I am possibly going to have to get up in a minute because if my big dog goes into her crate, then I'm going to shut her in there. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to have to keep checking my phone, although Josiah can just talk to me on the chat now. I'm drinking my cup of tea. All right. Ko Debbie tōku ingoa, ko Te Atatu Baptist, te whare karakia, ko tangata tariti ahau, I hara au I te tangata Māori, hoi anō. Kei te hiahia au, ki te hu, ki te tū hei hoa o te ao Māori. My name is Debbie. Te Atatu Baptist is my church. I am part of the people who live here because of the treaty. I am not Māori. However, I would like to become a companion, and I would like to be a companion of the Māori world. So first of all, I just want to give you a really small bit of history about the peninsula. Does anybody know who our local iwi is? I think that's a really important thing that we know who our local iwi is. So maybe you can call it out down there, but I'm just going to tell you it's Te Kauro Amaki. Te Kauro Amaki is our local iwi, if you ever need to know that. So who knows what the original Māori name for the peninsula was? It was Orukuwai. Or meaning a place of, Rukuwai, an ancestor of Te Kauro Amaki. So the early European settlers first called it Henderson Point, and then the Reverend Jackson Bennett called it Te Atatu in the early 20th century because of the incredible sunrises. And so that's what we now know it. And of course it was Te Atatu North, and then somebody decided that we should call it Te Atatu Peninsula. It just makes it sound a bit flasher. But really it's just the same same thing. Sorry, there's a dog leaning on my my ironing board. Gosh, you guys are amazing. Okay, so I want you to imagine that today is February the 6th in the year 2140, and a Klingon warship, for those of you who love Star Wars and Star Trek and all of those kind of things. A Klingon warship has just, Ralph, go away. Sorry. Has just landed in New Zealand. They have come to colonize our country. So here's some information about Klingons. Klingons don't cut their hair, and all the males grow beards. This will be expected from all of the men to prove their strength. If the men are not strong enough to go into battle, they have to die in a ritual suicide. Klingon beliefs might be described as polytheistic, in that's a number of supernatural figures who are recognized. Most of the Klingons worship Kalis, and this is overseen by clerics known as the followers of Kalis or guardians. So these beliefs will very quickly become the normal religion here, leaving us without our normal practices and prayers and gatherings. Klingon food is very strong, and some of it is served live. They love krada, which that is what they will farm in the years to come, as they really only eat the legs. Blood pie is also a favourite that we will have to get used to. So PPUs, tentacles and claw, and then there are serpent worms. Excuse me. The health system will soon be built to care for Klingon with their 8-chambered heart, 3 lungs, and multiple stomachs. Not that we will be able to access the health system anyway, because we won't speak the language. We also won't be able to get a job because of the language barrier. We won't have access to transport and likely not have access to housing either, as the Klingon will try to buy ours for a pittance, or they will just move in anyway. I know this all sounds ridiculous, but let's learn some truth about our history and the effect that colonisation had on Māori. First of all, and this is our first clip, I want to show you a clip of the haka being done at Easter camp a few years ago. I'm just putting this into the link now on the live. So for those of you who are watching it, you click on that and watch it. It's down at the Northern Easter camp, and I believe that the Northern Baptist Youth Ministry Easter camp has led us in the bicultural journey. It certainly has for us here in Te Atatu. So if you want to watch that now. So Josiah will let me know when that video stopped playing. And we're back. Thanks, Josiah. I just want to say how incredible Josiah is. We've just had so many technical issues this morning, and Josiah he's worked incredibly hard down there, and it's been very stressful. So please make sure you thank him after the service for his incredible ability to do the things that we need him to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to look for my copy, and I'm going to copy and paste. We are going to watch a short video. We do have a few videos today. We're going to watch a short video on Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Okay, so sounds like that video is not working, which is a real shame. But what I will do is at the end of this, I will put all of these links onto our Te Atatu Facebook page, and I'll also put it onto our whānau page so you can view it from there. Excuse me. So I guess I'm hoping that this is hilarious. I'm hoping that those who are watching. Now I've lost my camera. Have you lost the camera as well? Joe, have you lost the camera as well? Can you still see me? Because I can't on my screen, so I imagine you can't either. It's just typical. Oh, here we go. Okay, I don't know how to fix that. It froze. The camera's frozen. Let me unplug it and then plug it back in again. Yay. Do you know what? I was thinking about this before church, and it does not say anywhere in the Bible that church should run perfectly and smoothly. It certainly doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that that if your technology is playing up, it means that you things things aren't right. So anyway, now I have to get all this up. Gail sent me a photo of you all down at church, and it's really nice that I can have that and see that. But I'm not going to leave it up there because it's just going to distract me. All right, so sadly you didn't get to watch all of that video, but now my dog's eating the floor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read you some of an article that was in the stuff written by Andy Fries, and it's titled Te Treaty Treaty of Waitangi, What Was Lost. And I do have another link there. So Joe, can we try and do that link? I know this is a little bit difficult. It would have been great if I'd have been able to be there today, and I'm really sorry, people. So let's try this link. I believe. So I have posted that for you who are in the live watching online in the chat. Hey, David. Your dog's been a real pain this morning. Okay. Is the link supposed to be on screen? No. Oh dear. Oh dear. Um, Okay, I'm just going to skip that. I was talking with someone a few weeks ago about our housing development, and they asked a question: how do you find the people to put into your homes? And I told this person that there was a list of people who were homeless and that we would get to choose off those lists. I said that we would prefer Maori families. Anyway, and the reason for that is basically because statistically Maori people have a high representation among homeless. And the reason for that is because we stole their land. I'm just sorry. Oh gosh. What is it? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is crazy. Josiah, what is then? Is the link supposed to be on screen? We're watching the video that's on the Stuff website. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to have to go back and do the instructions unclear. Fork now in eye. Okay, so hopefully those of you watching online are watching that video that I just put up, because that's what they're watching. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're back to me now. This is hilarious, and I definitely will have a few extra grey hairs. We have been taught a whitewashed narrative about our New Zealand history, or we haven't been taught any of our real New Zealand history. So the thing is, we don't know what we don't know. And if we don't know it, then we don't know it. When we learn the truth about our history, it helps us to understand how tangata whenua, the people of this land, the Maori people, have been on the back foot since signing Te Treaty or Waitangi. So now Josiah's going to play another video that shows how the land was bought and taken from Maori while I read some of the article from the stuff. So he's just going to play that in the background, and I will put it on the chat because I don't know if you people who are watching from home are clever enough to watch that and listen to me, then we need you, because that's pretty clever. So hang on a minute. We can't do that. Josiah, you can't run that video while I am speaking. Didn't think about that. That's not going to work this morning, is it? So, all right, Josiah, don't run that video, and you can just maybe play it later. Maybe play it while you're taking communion or something. When the Maori chiefs signed Te Treaty o Waitangi, they thought they were future-proofing their land and their culture. There were some purchases of Maori land made before the treaty was signed, the most significant by the New Zealand Company, who sold land to prospective settlers in Britain before they had even purchased the land in Aotearoa. Starting in 1839, the company went on a buying spree in the lower North Island and upper South Island. The towns of Wellington, Nelson, Whanganui, and New Plymouth were eventually established on that land. In Wellington, there were conflicting claims to the land, and some chiefs believed they were legitimising their claim rather than extinguishing it. Interesting, isn't it? That they believed that what was happening is that they were making their claims stronger, and in fact, they were losing their land. The Maori and European concept of land ownership was at odds. After the treaty was signed, a land commissioner, William Spain, was tasked with investigating the legitimacy of all pre-treaty land purchases by Europeans. By this time, settlers who had bought land in the New Zealand Company settlements were beginning to arrive. Despite his reservations about most of the purchases, Spain ultimately found that at least part of the purchases was legitimate, with the exception of a purchase at Porirua. In many cases, a New Zealand company was made to pay compensation to Māori. The commission he led investigated pre-treaty land purchases around the country, and when purchases were seen to be legitimate, a maximum of 2,560 acres could be awarded to the buyer. And so if they'd bought a massive amount of land, they were only allowed to keep 2,560 acres. But instead of the remainder of the land being returned to Māori, as it should have been, it went to the Crown. The Crown used preemption to buy 2/3 of the entire land area of New Zealand from Māori, including most of the South Island. They paid £21,000 in total, the equivalent of 2.4 million in today's money, or about 3 residential properties in Auckland. Actually, it's probably only 2 residential properties in Auckland now. Between 1848 and 1864, so that's the treaty was signed in 1840. So that's about 24 years after. Ngāi Tahu sold most of the South Island to the Crown for £15,000, a sum that equated to a fraction of a penny per acre. One parcel of land, which was 30 million acres, the centre of the island, essentially from Westport to Milford Sound on the west coast, and from Cheviot to Butha on the east coast, and everything in between was bought for just £2,000. That whole, it's essentially, it must be about 3/4 of the South Island for £2,000. All of those beautiful mountains. In return, the Crown promised to build schools and hospitals for the iwi and to set aside 10% of the land for their occupation. The schools and hospitals never materialised, and Ngāi Tahu received only 37,000 acres of the purchased land, which was 1,000th as opposed to 1/10. So how did the loss of land affect the Māori people? In 1940, the population of Māori was around 73,000. That must be in 1840. After the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, diseases brought by the influx of European settlers, to which Māori had no immunity, had devastating impact on the population and life expectancy of Māori. Poverty and overcrowding as a result of the land alienation made it easier for diseases to spread through the Māori population. And by 1896, the Māori population had roughly halved and was estimated at 42,000. When tangata whenua lost their land, they lost their means to farm, to grow crops, which fed them, and had given them ability to trade not only crops but also the valuable resources on the land, such as timber and stone of varying kinds. So they lost all of that ability to be able to do that. Before the treaty, many Māori had developed lucrative trading relationships with the Europeans, particularly, apparently, in growing potatoes. In 1995, just going to move on to talking about te reo. In 1900, 95% of Māori was still fluent in te reo Māori, but the proportion had decreased by 25% by 1960. It was a huge concern that the loss of language was among children. Only 1/4 of Māori school children could speak Māori in 1953 and just 5% in 1975. Statistics from the 2018 census say that 1 out of 5 Māori can speak te reo. For many tangata whenua, learning their language, learning it comes with much shame for not knowing it and frustration at having it taken away from them. An article from Tamaki Māori village says, the colonists didn't believe in the sacredness or purpose of te reo. This thinking resulted in the ban of te reo in many schools and communities. The English considered speaking te reo as disrespectful and would punish school children. For some students, this would lead to public caning. Imagine that. Imagine if our children got caned for speaking English. Even in the 1980s, many were still discouraged from speaking te reo, and it was suppressed in the community. With the loss of te reo Māori and the loss of land came loss of tikanga, traditions, and their very way of thinking. I want to share part of the beauty of te reo with you. When someone is having a baby, we say she's pregnant. Something is happening to her. She will have a baby. That's the explanation. In te reo, it says she is hapu. Hapu is also the word for sub-tribe or family group. So when te reo speakers say she is, the listener knows that something is happening to their community. It happens to our community too when we have a baby. But saying she's pregnant just tells us that she is having a baby. In te reo, she is hapu. Something is going to happen to our tribe, our family group. That is so beautiful. So I have one more video, and this is part of a video by Jay Ruka, and it's a video called Feeling for the Land of Dreams. And he was sharing this with a group of educators. I have a copy of Jay Ruka's book, Huia Come Home, and if anyone would like to borrow it, I highly recommend it. I actually bought 6 of them a few years ago to share among our leaders. So if any of you still have a copy, turn it. I'm sure that there would be others who would love to read it. So Josiah, hopefully you'll be able to play that video. And for those of you who are online, I'm sorry, but I don't have a link for that because we've just shown a small portion of it. But while the church is watching that, I will try and quickly find it, and then I can share the link to the whole video for you to be able to watch. Really annoying thing is I close all of my links down before I preach, and now I can't find that one. Sorry, guys. Just have to stop that. It's okay. Come on. It's okay. Shh. Toa. Yo, Mandy. Shh. Shh. Hey. Sorry. I just had to mute because the dogs went crazy. So sorry, I did try and find a link to show those of you who are watching from home, but I'll have to share it later. Tangata whenua, Māori people are so connected to each other and to their language and their tikanga that it shows that having so much taken away from them is why we as a church, we as Pākehā, we as Kiwi must honour te tiriti o Waitangi. That looking off the lenses that we have viewed our history through and getting new ones. These are the same ones. We need to read our history through the eyes of Māori. We need to follow Māori on social media, acknowledge and check our racism. That is so important. And we will think, I'm not racist, but we are. And that's because of the things we've been taught and the way we've been taught. We need to acknowledge that and check it. We need to learn some of the language. Names are a great place to start. If you can say toe, and if you can say paw, can everybody say paw? You can. Oh my god! You can say that. You can say taupo, which is actually taupo in te reo. Taupo. Say toe, paw, taupo. You can all say taupo correctly. So important. The very best thing that we can do is to be minded to change, to learn to see history in a different way than we have always been. So important. I encourage you to do your own research. Look up some of the that I'll put up for you to see, and be open to change. I'm going to pray. I'm going to close in prayer. Then Gail is going to do communion. You who are at church, and for those of you who are at home, please feel free to just take some communion and think about the things that we've talked about today. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa, te ātawhai o tō tātou ariki a ihu karaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga, ki te wairua tapu, aki, amen. May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship with you all ever and ever. Amen. God bless you all. Thank you, Gail, and thank you, Josiah.